This headphone, the Sivga Luan, is not only beautiful, well made and extremely comfortable. However, that would already be enough to get some of you sold on it. It also sounds great. So, is it a good all-rounder? Please leave a like and let's see. The headphones are priced at $360, but just looking at them, they certainly appear to be worth more than $500. This impression becomes even stronger once you pick them up and use them for a minute. You can get these headphones in two colors, dark and light. You are currently looking at the dark one, as I thought it looked a bit better. In both cases, the caps are made of real wood, with a very smooth finish. The grills are fully metal, making a nice, blacked out mesh pattern with a silver aluminum ring around it. There is a layer of felt behind it, which technically makes this headphone semi-open back instead of being truly open back. A suspension style design has been chosen for the headband, being a clear upgrade from the lower series of Sivga products with standard one-piece headbands. This one is much more comfortable as it adjusts to your head shape better. It's virtually impossible to get any hotspots because of that. On the inside of this leather strap, there are soft elements that remind me a lot of the Dekoni nuggets. Those are supposed to provide more padding, which is usually lost with strap-based designs. To make up for a smaller or a larger head size, there are these super smooth sliders that can help accommodate many sizes of heads. The caps have a limited, but still a good amount of tilt, and what's even more important, they have swivel. The mechanism has some linear resistance, with no scratchiness or making any sound. It's exceptionally smooth and truly silent. These headphones may appear to have rather small ear caps, which could make it seem like your ears are constantly touching the inside of the pads. However, it's important to note that the pads have a significantly larger inner and outer diameter than the caps themselves. It simply allows for more space for your ears. They are very soft, maintain their shape well, and feature a synthetic leather finish with perforations on the inside. I can wear and listen to these headphones for hours. If you have watched this video so far, please subscribe to my channel. The connectors used here are standard 3.5mm jacks. In the box you get two things: a cable terminated with, again, high quality metal 3.5mm connectors. It's single-ended instead of being balanced and has a simple rubberized finish. So there are reasons to upgrade it in the future to something nicer looking at some point. The second thing you get in the box is a hard, leather carrying case in a suggestive shape. Let me know in the comments what it reminds you of. It's a wonderful addition that feels premium, especially with this metal zipper. The Luan features a dynamic driver with a diaphragm that is nickel coated around the edges, ensuring low weight, good rigidity and elasticity. According to the manufacturer's information, it should provide deeper bass extension and fuller mid-range. I can already say that I mostly agree with those statements. So it's probably not pure marketing talk. The dome is made of organic carbon fiber composite. The choice of the coil's material is something I don't fully understand. They went for copper-clad aluminum for some reason. CCA, according to them, supposedly makes the sound more delicate and natural. On the other hand, the magnets and the decisions made regarding them are absolutely reasonable, especially for somebody like me, mostly a large planar magnetic headphone enjoyer. They are oversized, 24.5mm in size to be specific, with high magnetic energy to achieve high sensitivity, resolution and finite detail retrieval. This headphone's impedance is on the medium-low end, coming at 38 ohms, so pushing voltage through it is not going to make your amplifier sweat. On the other hand, the sensitivity is super high, 100 decibels, so you won't need much power or even gain on your source to power it. It's not that sensitive to amplification scaling, so we can probably get away with something budget-oriented. It scales a little though. When I tried it with better amps, the soundstage became wider and the dynamics improved a little. Overall, it can be paired with warm, neutral and even somewhat bright sounding gear. Considering the price, it sounds impressive. Taking the price out of the equation, it still sounds good. I could imagine daily driving that one without many complaints. And if you know something about me, you know that I'm picky. The tonality fits more or less within my preferences, being mostly neutral and Harman target adherent. In the bass it is fairly accurate, but it rolls off in the lowest registers, below around 45 Hz. The bass you're getting with these is clean, distortion free, and tight. However, the amount can be arguable for bass heads. There isn't much musical content in the lowest frequencies, so you aren't missing out on much by not having a flat extension down to 20 Hz. In the mid-bass we get some extra warmth, making for perhaps a bit more organic presentation. It is impactful in the dynamic section of songs. The mid-range is where the Luan shows its strengths the most. First and foremost, it sounds natural. The vocals truly shine with a warm yet clean presentation. It has a chocolatey character, for lack of a better word. It is rather detailed in the mids, which not all headphones can do. It is ever so slightly recessed around 1 kHz, enhancing the separation between the mids and the highs. In actual songs, this creates an added space from the vocals to the high frequency details. Going to the treble, it is fairly magical. It extends quite well for a dynamic driver, as they usually aren't known for extending super well at the bottom or in the top end. Anyway, this magic factor comes from the way it measures versus the way it sounds. On a frequency response graph, it may seem a little brought up in the ear gain region. What's interesting though is when you listen to it, it usually has none of that characteristic. Some may say that it lacks attack around, let's say, 5 to 6 kHz. Generally though, it is fairly resolving despite its delicacy. It easily displays most of the details in the recordings. If you're a fan of the typical showroom and V-shaped sound, feel free to pair it with brighter, solid-state amplifiers and chip-based digital-to-analog converters. For the subjective performance, which is unrelated to the frequency response and tonality, why don't we start with the soundstage size? While not hugely expansive, it is undoubtedly going out of your head quite a bit. Because of the open back nature, it can expand much wider laterally than other Sivga headphones with a closed back design. Moreover, the imaging is very precise. Sounds like the instruments are locked in place, with dead-centered vocals. This combination makes for quite a 3D experience while listening to music and lots of immersion in movie watching. I personally prefer headphones that can realistically reproduce the attack, sustain and decay. In this case, it's fairly natural. While not the fullest sounding and without the longest decay in the world, it still sounded like a much more expensive headphone in this specific regard. Do I think it's worth it to buy these headphones as your daily driver? Imagine that you have a good all-rounder for its price point. It does all sound quality aspects reasonably well, and then you combine it with a mid-range from a much more expensive headphone, like a Sennheiser or some ZMF options. Finally, you add to it the fantastic build quality, premium materials, plus, if it's not enough, crazy good comfort for long listening sessions. Simply speaking, yes, I think it's worth it and it's a very good deal.